Hello and welcome. I'm really glad you're here today. If you're listening to this, it means you want to improve your English speaking in a calm and natural way. Not with pressure, not with stress. Just by listening, repeating, and letting the language slowly become familiar. So first, take a breath. There is nothing you need to prove here. You don't need to speak perfectly. You don't need to understand every word. This is shadowing practice. You listen, you follow the sound, you repeat softly or clearly depending on how you feel. If something feels fast, that's okay. If something feels easy, that's okay too. We move forward together. Let's begin slowly. Today we'll focus on everyday English. The kind of English people use in real life. Simple sentences, natural rhythm, clear meaning. You can listen first. Or you can repeat with me. Both are right. I'll speak clearly and naturally. You don't need to rush. I want to start with something very simple. I wake up in the morning. I open my eyes. I take a deep breath. I don't rush out of bed. I stay still for a moment. I think about the day ahead. I think about what I need to do. I think about how I feel. Some mornings I feel calm. Some mornings I feel tired. Some mornings I feel nervous. And all of that is normal. I get out of bed. I walk to the bathroom. I wash my face with cold water. It helps me wake up. I look in the mirror. I see my face. I see my eyes. I don't judge myself. I just look. Then I go to the kitchen. I make a simple breakfast. Sometimes I drink coffee. Sometimes I drink tea. I don't always eat a lot in the morning. Sometimes I just want something light. While I eat, I check my phone. I read a few messages. I look at the time. I don't want to be late. I get dressed slowly. I choose comfortable clothes. I like clothes that feel easy. I don't like feeling tight or uncomfortable. When I'm ready, I leave the house. As I walk outside, I notice small things. The weather. The sound of cars. People walking by. Some people look busy. Some people look relaxed. I wonder what kind of day they will have. I walk to the bus stop. Or maybe I walk to my car. Sometimes I listen to music. Sometimes I just listen to the city. I like quiet mornings. They help me think. When I arrive at work, I greet people. I say hello. I smile. I don't always feel energetic, but I try to be kind. I sit down at my desk. I open my computer. I look at my tasks for the day. Some tasks are easy. Some tasks feel difficult. I start with something small. That helps me feel focused. During the day, I talk to different people. I ask simple questions. I give short answers. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Can you help me with this? Sure. These are simple sentences, but they matter. They are part of daily life. Sometimes conversations are short. Sometimes they last longer. Sometimes I understand everything. Sometimes I don't, and that's okay. When I don't understand, I ask again. Sorry, can you repeat that? Could you say that more slowly? There is nothing wrong with asking. Learning happens there. At lunchtime, I take a break. I step away from my work. I eat something simple. Sometimes I eat alone. Sometimes I eat with others. If I eat with others, we talk about small things. Food, the weather, plans for the weekend. Not every conversation needs to be deep. Simple talk is important too. It helps you feel connected. After lunch, I feel a little tired. This happens often. I take a breath. I stretch my body. I drink some water. Then I return to my work. As the afternoon goes on, I feel my energy change. Sometimes I feel focused. Sometimes I feel slow. I don't fight it. I do what I can. I finish my tasks one by one. When the day ends, I feel relieved. I close my computer. I pack my bag. I say goodbye. See you tomorrow. Have a good evening. Then I leave. On the way home, I feel different. The day is behind me now. I think about what went well. I think about what was difficult. I don't blame myself. Every day is practice. When I get home, I change my clothes. I want to feel comfortable. I prepare dinner. Sometimes I cook. Sometimes I order food. I don't always have energy to cook. That's fine. I eat slowly. I enjoy the taste. I don't rush. In the evening, I try to relax. I watch something simple. I listen to music. I read a few pages of a book. I don't want too much noise. I like calm evenings. Before bed, I think again. Not too much. Just a little. I think about tomorrow. Then I go to bed. I turn off the lights. I close my eyes. Now, let's slow down even more. I want you to listen carefully to the rhythm. You don't need to repeat everything perfectly. Just follow the sound. I wake up. I breathe. I begin again. Every day is a new chance. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to continue. This is how English becomes natural. Not by forcing, not by rushing, by listening, by repeating, by staying calm. And we are just getting started. As the days go by, something small begins to change. You may not notice it at first. There is no sudden moment, no clear sign. But slowly, English starts to feel less distant. The sounds become familiar. The rhythm feels softer. The pauses make sense. You don't translate every word anymore. You don't stop after each sentence. You simply listen. And that is important. Because language is not only about words. It is about flow. It is about feeling. So let's continue. During the day, there are many small moments where English lives quietly. When you read a short message, when you hear a song in the background, when a sentence appears in your mind, you don't force it. You don't chase it. You let it come. Sometimes you repeat a sentence without thinking. Sometimes you whisper words softly. This is learning. Let's talk about simple daily actions again, but with more detail. In the morning after breakfast, I check my plan for the day. I ask myself simple questions. What do I need to do today? What can wait until tomorrow? How much energy do I have? I don't expect too much from myself. I know that some days are productive. Some days are slow. Both are okay. I prepare my bag. I make sure I have my keys. I check my phone battery. Then I leave the house. When I am outside, I notice my surroundings more. I see people walking quickly. I see people standing and waiting. Some are on their phones. Some are talking to someone next to them. I hear different voices, different accents, different tones. English exists in all of this too. Not perfectly, not clearly, but naturally. On public transport, I often listen, not just to music, but to people. I hear short conversations. Are you getting off here? No, one more stop. Did you finish the report? Not yet. These are not lessons, but they teach. They show how people really speak. At work or school, communication continues. Sometimes I need to explain something simple. I'll send it later. I'm working on it. I need a bit more time. Sometimes I need to listen carefully. Instructions, requests, feedback. I don't understand every word, but I understand the meaning. That is enough. Understanding grows step by step. When something feels confusing, I pause. I don't panic. I remind myself, I am learning. I am allowed to make mistakes. Mistakes are not failure. They are information. They show where I am. As the day moves forward, I become more aware of how I speak. I notice my tone, my speed, my pauses. I don't try to sound perfect. I try to sound clear. Clear is better than perfect. In conversations, I keep things simple. I don't search for big words. I don't build long sentences. I use what I know. I think so. I'm not sure. Let me check. These phrases are powerful. They give you time. They give you space. In the afternoon, my mind feels different. Sometimes it is full. Sometimes it is quiet. When it feels full, I slow down. I take a deep breath. I stretch my shoulders. I remind myself to relax my jaw. Language comes easier when the body is calm. When I leave work or school, I feel a small release. The responsibilities of the day begin to fade. I walk slower. I breathe deeper. On the way home, I reflect quietly. What did I learn today? What felt difficult? What felt easy? I don't judge the answers. I just notice them. At home, English still lives quietly, in small ways, when I read instructions, when I scroll online, when I watch something short. I don't turn everything into study time. I let English exist naturally in my life. This is important because language is part of living, not a separate task. Sometimes I repeat sentences aloud, not because I have to, but because they feel good to say. The sound feels smooth. The rhythm feels right. I enjoy that moment. That enjoyment matters. Let's slow down again. Listen to the rhythm. I don't rush my learning. I don't compare myself to others. I move at my own pace. Every small step counts. On some days, motivation feels low. That is normal. On those days, I don't push. I simply listen. Listening is still learning. Even silence has value. As days turn into weeks, something interesting happens. You start to trust the process. You stop asking, is this working? You start thinking, I feel different. You respond faster. You hesitate less. You still make mistakes, but they don't stop you anymore. In conversations, you begin to stay present. You listen instead of planning your answer. You respond naturally, sometimes slowly, sometimes simply. That is real communication. You may notice that your pronunciation changes. Not suddenly, not completely, but little by little. Some sounds become easier. Some words feel lighter. This comes from repetition, not force. Shadowing helps because it connects listening and speaking. You don't separate them. You hear. You follow. You speak. Together. Now imagine yourself a few months from now. You are listening to English. You understand more. You don't feel afraid to speak. You don't freeze. You allow yourself to try. That future is built right here, in moments like this. Let's continue with more everyday language. In the evening, I sometimes meet a friend. We choose a simple place. Nothing loud. Nothing crowded. We sit and talk. How was your day? It was busy. Mine too. We share small stories. Nothing dramatic. Nothing special. Just life. And English fits into that life. Sometimes there is silence in conversation, and that is okay. Silence is not a problem. It gives space to think. It gives space to breathe. When I don't know a word, I describe it. The thing you use to, the place where people understand. Communication is flexible. At night, when the day slows down, I feel grateful. Not because everything was perfect, but because I showed up. I listened. I practiced. I continued. That is enough. Now stay with the sound. Stay with the pace. Quietly. Naturally. As time passes, you begin to notice something important. English is no longer something separate from your life. It doesn't feel like a task. It doesn't feel like homework. It feels present. It appears when you least expect it. A sentence forms in your mind. A word comes naturally. A response feels ready. You don't stop to analyze it. You let it happen. At this stage, listening becomes deeper. You don't just hear words. You hear intention. You notice when someone is serious, when they are relaxed, when they are unsure. This understanding goes beyond grammar. It comes from exposure. Let's talk about how English fits into real moments. Imagine you are in a small store. You look around. You find what you need. You go to the counter. The interaction is short. Hi. Hi. That's all? Okay. How much is it? $10. Here you go. Thank you. You're welcome. Simple. Clear. Natural. This is real English. Now imagine you need help. You don't know where something is. You ask, "Excuse me, can you help me?" "Yes, of course. I'm looking for this." Oh, it's over there. You listen. You follow. You respond. You don't need perfect sentences. You need connection. As you continue listening and shadowing, your confidence changes. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. You hesitate less. You trust yourself more. You stop saying, I can't speak English. You start saying, I'm learning. That shift matters. There will still be moments of doubt, moments when words disappear, moments when your mind feels empty. That is normal. Those moments do not erase progress. They are part of it. When that happens, you slow down. You breathe. You remind yourself that language is flexible. You can pause. You can rephrase. You can try again. Communication is not fragile. It adapts. Let's move into longer conversations. Imagine you are talking with someone you know. You talk about your plans. What are you doing this weekend? I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll rest. That sounds nice. You share feelings. I've been tired lately. I understand. Work has been a lot. These conversations are not perfect, but they are real. Sometimes you agree. Yes, I think so too. That makes sense. Sometimes you don't. I'm not sure about that. I see it differently. You express yourself honestly. You don't hide behind silence anymore. As your listening improves, your speaking follows. You don't force it. You let your mouth learn the rhythm. You let your ears guide you. Shadowing helps because it removes overthinking. You follow, you repeat, you adjust. You begin to notice patterns. How sentences start, how they end, where people pause. You don't memorize rules. You absorb them. Over time, English becomes familiar, like a song you've heard many times. You don't remember the first time you heard it. You just know it now. Let's slow down again. Stay with the sound. I listen. I follow. I speak. I don't rush. I trust the process. In daily life, English appears in many forms. A video clip, a comment, a message. You no longer avoid it. You welcome it. You may still make mistakes. You will. Everyone does. Even native speakers do. Mistakes do not stop communication. Fear does, and fear fades with practice. As weeks pass, you feel more comfortable. You don't panic when someone speaks fast. You catch keywords. You catch meaning. That is enough to respond. You realize something important. You don't need to sound like someone else. You just need to sound like yourself in English. Your voice matters. Your pace matters. Your way of speaking is valid. Now imagine yourself listening to this again in the future. You notice how easy it feels. You smile because you remember when it felt hard, and now it doesn't. This is how progress works. Quietly, naturally, consistently. You don't need long study sessions. You need regular exposure. A little every day. Listening is not passive. It shapes your thinking. It prepares your responses. It builds confidence. Shadowing connects everything. Listening, speaking, understanding, together. Now we are reaching the end of this practice. Not the end of your learning, just the end of this moment. Before we close, take a breath. Notice how you feel. Calmer, more focused, more open. That matters. You showed up. You listened. You stayed. That is real progress. Thank you for listening. If this practice helped you, if it made English feel a little easier, a little calmer, please like this episode and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps this space grow and allows me to create more calm, natural English listening practices for you. If you have thoughts, questions, or topics you'd like to hear next, leave a comment. I read them, and they matter. Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep listening, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep going.